Comfy. I like this.
Boo!
Come on.
Boo!
Hello and welcome to another episode of That Comic Book Show. I'm your host, That Comic Book Guy, with
Isis.
and introducing our new beloved colleague, Mr. J.C. Torres. Or was it Jones, right? Torres? Yeah. For those who've seen the past videos, our beloved colleague, KC, unfortunately had met his, untimely end. And
It was tragic.
his brother caught wind of that. So how do you feel about your brother, KC, just leaving like that? What happened? I don't know what happened. All we knew is that he was dead, and there was a note, and that's all that happened.
We don't know what happened, and we're still trying to figure everything out, but just trying to do it one step at a time, and we miss him dearly.
We miss him dearly
As we
too.
all do.
As we all do.
Mm-hmm.
He owed me money.
Oh, well.
He was a bit of a gambler.
All I can say is that even you know how they say that the show must go on. Well, today is a huge week, and not just a huge week, a really good week in comics.
Yeah.
I will tell you. So moving on. All right, today's first book we're going to talk about Batman: The Dark Knight number 21 by Greg Hurwitz and Ethan Van Sciver. So Isis, what did you think about this week's book?
It was a good book. It was a nice, quick read. As you remember, the last issue, Batman's woman, she was killed by the Mad Hatter, and
The bad?
Mad Hatter. Who the heck is the Bad Hatter? You can read that later.
Dude, get your backpack
Yeah, come
straight.
on.
I'm not that big of a Batman fan. I don't even like Batman too much.
You want? Get out
You're
of here.
definitely not Casey.
You're definitely not your brother. I miss your brother already.
I was hoping Mad Hatter would do more damage than what he did, but wishful thinking, I guess.
Maybe in your world.
So, what made Batman snap?
Well, first of all, with the girl dying,
Out of Lucky Charms.
and when he goes to Mad Hatter's lair, he makes some crazy, kind of obviously an Alice in Wonderland type twist, and the art in this was amazing. Van Sciver never ceases to amaze any of us, and it went by pretty fast. And he actually, the battle scenes in this are amazing. Batman was just beating the absolute crap out of everybody. Lots of gore. I know a lot of people love that. And even towards the end, Alfred got pretty worried. And
Smacked Alfred around a little bit.
well,
Alfred, where's my money?
that would be funny. But Mad Hatter does not die. He comes close to it, but Batman's like, let's not kill this guy. So that was pretty much Dark Knight. So anything else you guys would like to add?
Oh, it sounded like a really fun issue. All right, moving on.
Alright, awesome.
All right, guys. Next book in our list is Teen Titans number 21 by Scott Lobdell and Eddie Burrows. So, what do you think so far? All I heard is that, from what I read and what I saw, they're still going with the whole War of Light and Darkness story arc.
Yeah, of course.
So, how's that coming along?
It's going places. The Titans, they're mostly kind of split up right now. Raven's got 3 brothers, so they're all fighting each one of them. And Raven gives Superboy this cover type deal, so that way, and turns this blue color, makes him really cold. So it makes the battle a lot easier, and battles go on for a while. And basically, towards the end, the Titans pretty much win, but Trigon comes out, of course.
Does he wreck shop on everybody?
He just
Not
shows
yet.
up. He just shows
I honestly didn't even think he was going to show up, so I don't know if a lot of you have seen This Is the End, but he made a slight appearance. I didn't think his injuries would be fixed by then, but at least we didn't see his lower half, so we don't know about that.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's trying to get the Titans under his control, and the next issue will be called Dark Titans. And that's pretty much Teen Titans in a nutshell for this week.
Oh.
So,
I actually like Teen Titans on this one.
You did?
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's really good. Alright, moving on. Alright guys, we're going to talk about our next book. Justice League of America number 5. Written by Jeff Johns, and this time the guest artist is Brett Booth. And apparently Brett Booth seems like he's gonna stick in this book for a while. And for those that don't know, the reason David Finch, the original artist for Justice League of America, is not in this book is because he's gonna write he's actually gonna draw the biggest book of September. DC's big crossover event, which is called Forever Evil. It's a 7-issue miniseries, and from what we heard and what we know, in all our sources, they're telling us that it's going to be drawn by David Finch in its entirety, and it's going to be written by Jeff Johns in its entirety. And that's the reason they took David Finch out of the book, out of Justice League of America, so that he could focus more on Forever Evil. Because let's be honest, even though his art is amazing, he just takes too freaking long to make a book. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This book was actually pretty good. Like Brett Booth really does step his game up. Like I can see him being one
in
of
a cape.
I can see him being one of the top artists at DC within the next year or so, if he's not already one of the top artists.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the top artists in the business if you give him a couple of years. That's how good he is. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, going into the story, if you guys saw last week's issue, Catwoman died. And we were like, nah, it happened too fast.
Yeah.
It's too sudden. It was too rushed. There was no build up for it.
Something wasn't right here.
Something wasn't right. Like there was a lot of theories going around. Maybe that was a clone. Maybe that
was just a cat.
Maybe it was just a cat, and maybe like that the leader behind the secret society of supervillains just shot her, like you know when you punch somebody in the head so hard that you start bleeding out your ear. Maybe it was one of those like PSI guns.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know what PSI, for those who don't know what PSI means, is pounds per square inch. It's like one of those air guns. Yeah, might have been that. But
good news.
Good news. She's not dead.
Not dead.
And it was actually Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
He fooled everybody.
He fooled everybody.
Especially him.
Especially, I was like,
But not
can't
me.
be Catwoman.
And,
No.
And of all the theories, that was one of the more simple ones. But
Yeah.
not a lot of people brought that up, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, because he was missing for like 3 days.
Yeah. And so.
No. He was in the battle, but he was missing. Like after he fought Shaggy Man. Oh yeah, the guy that looks like Sasquatch. His name is Shaggy Man.
Shaggy Man.
Yeah,
Sasquatch
I know.
better.
It sounds gay.
I think
A
it's
mixture of
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby and Shaggy. That's
Yeah, but that's actually his name, and he's created by Dr. Ivo. So apparently Dr. Ivo didn't feel like making an Amazo, so they said, "Hey, to hell with it! I'll make a Shaggy Man."
Maybe Amazing's coming later.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
But yeah, this book had great pacing, had great story, had great art. A lot of things happened in this book. If I could say something about this is probably a key issue. The only way I can explain it is we see that apparently what's his face, Martian Manhunter. He fooled everybody, pretended to be Catwoman so he could find out
Each one
who's.
feels pretty.
so he could kind of infiltrate their base and whatever, and that way they can get their information. And we find out who the leader of the secret society of supervillains is.
It's Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z.
Close but no dice, my friend. It's actually, for those who don't know, I mean, it's spoiler alert, so if you haven't read it,
buy it and read it.
Read it. But it was actually something that nobody ever saw coming. And that was the leader behind them, or the supposed leader behind the whole thing, is actually Kronos. For those that don't know Kronos, he's an old B-list villain. Those who know of Jeff Johns and know his work, he likes to grab B-list people, and he likes to grab B-list people, and he likes to tear them to the core and revamp them. So he did the same thing with Black Hand. He did the same thing with a lot of other villains. Other than that, it was a great book. A lot of things happened. If I could say it, it's probably a key issue.
We just got too much to cover.
Yeah.
Can't tell the whole story.
So moving on. All right, next up we're having the X-Men #2 by Brian Wood and Oliver Copio. So take it away, Isis.
All right. On the last episode, I know I reviewed issue 1, and a lot of my friends and I, we read this, and we all kind of thought that the chick at the end was actually the baby, and we thought it grew up. Well, it turns out that that wasn't the baby, that was Karima. And she was taken over by Archaea or Archaea, however it's pronounced, is this type of bacteria. And all it did, it was in the baby, and when the baby was brought over to Jean Grey School, it took over Karima. And so now that Karima is out in the blue, she doesn't know, I mean, Karima obviously isn't Karima, she's Archaea. And so this battle breaks out, and Jubilee's still taking care of the baby, and the baby's a boy, and his name is Shogo. And so when Kitty Pryde was talking with Archaea, trying to find out, like, ask her, "Are you Karima? Last chance?" And she takes off, and they talk about how she's possibly somewhere in Africa. So they go off on their X-Jet and Blackbird. Thank you. See, I don't know too much about X-Men. This is one of the first X-Men books I've ever read, and so they're going off to find her. And then also the Jean Grey School is on lockdown, and so Roxy finds something in the ground, and it looks like they got a bomb in the school, and it's about to hit zero. And so that's the cliffhanger. So we're gonna find out next issue what's gonna happen. So we're looking forward to that.
So was that a good issue?
I like it. I'm very impressed with it.
Was there anything that stuck out to you?
Aside,
a lot of nudity.
I guess aside from now Jubilee's pretty much adopted the baby. She's pretty much its mother now, even though she's not the birth mother. That was probably one of the emotional moments within it. I mean, nothing that would make anybody cry, but you know, for them that was, you know, it's kind of cool. She has something that's hers. So
that's how they make her relatable. Give her a kid. Wow.
So we haven't seen her in what, like a year or more, and then like now you.
Because I thought it was hers because it looks like her.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like her.
It's racist.
No, it's not racist. Its eyes don't even look that brown. Look, its eyes are greenish.
Can't even see the eyes.
I know they're close.
No, they're not.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Are you saying all X-Men characters look alike? That's racist.
Are you saying all mutants look alike? No, I'm kidding. It's all
Sure,
good.
they totally all look alike. You know, Storm and Kitty Pryde, they're probably
Was there
They're pretty much are.
was there any like small tidbits that might have stuck out to you?
The
aside,
nudity.
there was no nudity.
I
know you think that, but
I read the wrong X-Men.
yeah. Well, we'll talk about that book at the end. So that'll be in the bonus edition. But
Of this
yeah.
episode. Find it somewhere.
Alright, well, moving along.
Doubt the most important detail.
Very important.
Yes. I mean, it almost is like you have to forget about the X-Men. They're not even important. There is a shout out
They're really not
to
important.
Totoro in the book. You will see Totoro. I'm not going to say where, but you have to find him.
Yeah, if you guys
You can win a prize too.
If you guys are familiar to like
Anime.
Studio Ghibli's My Neighbor
Hayao
Totoro,
Miyazaki.
He's in there.
He's
somewhere.
in there.
Copyright.
It's a it's not really copyright because here's the thing. Studio Ghibli is associated with Disney.
Oh, never mind.
Marvel.
It's
got
owned
bought out by
So-
Disney, so
Yeah.
If it was a DC book, that would be different. But
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
Marvel.
It's Marvel.
So look for him.
And Mickey Mouse. So you find Mickey Mouse, you can win big money.
So that was actually the most important thing in this book, not the actual story. We don't care about the stupid baby. Screw the baby.
She said
And
that.
Totoro.
Have your hate mail go to ISIS.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and I apologize about the ugly baby comment last week. I'm sorry, Swanky. All right. We're done here.
Alright, now we're gonna talk about the second to last book that stood out to us, and it was the aftermath of Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron number 10 AI, written by Mark Waid and art by
Some guy.
Araujo. It's really good though. Like his art reminds me, like for those like hardcore DC fans, if you guys have ever read The Flash, Time Flies, and Green Lantern Will World, Araujo's art will remind you a lot of that guy's art. It's really good. It feels like it could be trippy at any moment, but at the same time it feels bubbly, and it feels like you could just do so much with it. But anyways, actually this was my personal pick, and the reason why it was my personal pick, I'm a DC guy. The reason this book really stood out to me is because I like the ending of Age of Ultron number 10. But even though I like the ending, I knew that Marvel always does something with an aftermath issue. So when the aftermath came out, I thought, okay, maybe, Hank Pym is finally going to snap and become the next big thing, the biggest villain in the Marvel Universe. Like, it's going to be bigger than Doom, Banner when he tried to be bad, Osborn, and everybody put together. But apparently, he does snap. But he snaps in a way you've never seen before. It made me feel retarded. It made me feel stupid. I thought, man, like, I never thought I'd say a Marvel move made me feel like an idiot. And it was really good because I never saw it coming. They retold, the way Mark Waid did this issue, he literally started from scratch. He took us back to the beginning. He told us in about 5-6 pages all of Hank Pym's or Henry Pym, whatever the hell you want to call him. They told his origin, like how when he was born, when he was little, growing up, his influences and the people close to him, and how he's more of the type of guy to want to exercise his imagination, to kind of let it run free, but he keeps getting held down and held down and held down. And apparently he just does not want to be practical anymore, because everybody tells him, just be practical, and the entire time they're telling him, do not go nuts. And so he pretty much has to keep himself in check the entire time. And now he finally cuts loose. Well, the way he cuts loose is, I'll be honest, I was speechless. I never thought I'd see it coming. So if you had a Marvel, if you went to the comic book store and you wanted to check out one Marvel book, even though, don't get me wrong, X-Men number 2 was great, but if you really had to check out one Marvel book, do Age of Ultron book 10 AI. It pretty much tells you the origin story of Ant-Man like you've never seen before, and it opens up possibilities to something even greater.
That sounds like more fun than X-Men 2 was.
A lot more fun.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on. Alright guys, now the last book, and last but most certainly not least, Justice League number 21. And this issue is actually pretty special because it tells you the final chapter of the Shazam backstory. Since y'all know that ever since issue 7, which was about more or less, about a year or so ago, that kept telling us in the backstory, pretty much everything we needed to know about Shazam. They're trying to revamp Billy Batson into the new 52 universe. And though there was a lot of reactions, that people loved it, people hated, there's actually more positive than negative around this time around. And this is actually the culmination, the final chapter, the home stretch, if I may, on Justice, the Shazam backstory. So what'd you feel about it?
I'm just, for one, so glad I don't have to just read it in the backstory. The whole book is basically Shazam. That to me is awesome.
Yeah.
It was not long story, but it was the right size story. It wasn't just a couple pages.
And it was like a movie. It was like a full-length movie.
Yeah, full-length movie.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So everything from issue 7 was previews up to the...
Yeah.
It's like the Avengers movie. Everything was just a teaser until you got the good full issue.
You got build up, the climax, the going down. It's just
introduction of the character, and you see how he is, and who he is, and his mentality. He's a little kid, but it's
Yeah,
the powers of
you know.
One
God.
thing I really like is the way they build up Black Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, I was kind of iffy in the way they build up, the way Jeff Johns and Gary Frank decided to build up Dr. Savannah, trying to make him like a bulky version of Lex Luthor, who apparently gave up on science and decided to choose magic instead. And if you notice, the one thing that I had to go back and reread is that I finally understand why they did that to Dr. Savannah, why they made him bulked up in the beginning. In the beginning, he was bulked up, but he was, he had magic in him, and apparently his body was trying to reject the magic because he couldn't handle it. So it started, he started to wither away little by little. So towards the end of this book, you start seeing him. You see a like he becomes pretty much a mere shell of his former self, and he becomes so like skinny and malnourished, and like he's starting to shrink in size little by little, and you're like, man, he's actually looking like the actual Dr. Savannah, except with a lightning bolt for an eye.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. Other than that, it was amazing. The ending, the way that Billy had deal with Black Adam, the things that he did in order to get some help, and yes, they do say that this book Billy does get help from the most unlikely heroes, and no, it's not the Justice League. Trust me, when you see this, you're gonna be like, what the hell? And then it'll catch you off guard. Like, technically this week has been just a lot of books that have caught us off guard.
But mainly this one.
Especially at the end.
The end.
At the end of, like, pretty much the end or the epilogue of this book, you're gonna end up seeing the introduction to another villain, another Shazam, a very, very prominent Shazam villain that's right up there with Dr. Savannah. Won't tell you who it is, but let me just tell you that he played a really big part in an event before the relaunch. Like, if you guys have ever read 52, the biggest bad guy that came out of 52, then you'll understand who I'm talking about at the end.
It's one of those cases where appearances do not matter.
Yeah. And by the looks of it, it feels like, they're gonna do something big with Shazam.
Yeah.
Soon, and I hope it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Which will probably will.
Yeah. Well, moving on. All right, folks, that was our show for today. Thank you for being with us, and this has been That Comic Book Show with That Comic Book Guy and
Isis
and JC. Yeah. So until next time, folks. But before you leave, we just want to let you know that unfortunately, things happen to our esteemed colleague Thor, Mr. the God of Thunder. He was actually before your time. What happened is like he got attacked by the same assailant that attacked and killed your brother. Yeah. So we send out our, but the good thing is that fortunately he's well. It's just that it took so much out of him that he had to go. Like they told us that his loved ones and those close to him told us that he was actually in the Odin sleep, whatever the hell that means.
What?
The Odin sleep,
some sort of sleep.
where he's recuperating.
So we don't know when and where he's gonna wake up.
Probably.
Okay.
So yeah, whenever he comes back, we're gonna welcome him in open arms, and we'll introduce you to him, and it'll be fun, and we can finally get to the bottom of who killed your brother, and maybe he can shed some light into who attacked him. Yeah. All right. Well, that was the show. Thank you very much, and until next time.
Facebook. Alright. We'll go see how much I can get for you at Macy's.